your permission, everyone, we'll talk a little bit about the passporting system. And then, to God's grace, we can talk about the other issues of national interest. Allow me to start by thanking Assistant Secretary Franca, who will be our ambassador to Athens, not to Greece, and to Yusek Joel Montales. Ang directive ng Pangulo, he wants a fast and secure passporting system. No? Fast, meaning makakuha ka agad ng appointment at pag nasa consular office, mabilis ang processing. Secure, kasi this is a very secure document. We cannot allow any mistakes. Take to them. Okay. Ang directive ng ating Pangulo ay fast and secure passporting system, no? Meaning fast, mabilis makakuha ng appointment, madaling magbayad, pag nandun ka sa consular office, 30 minutes or less, dapat tapos ka na. Okay? And of course, for those with disabilities, those po who are senior citizen, yung pong single parents, those po with children below 7 years old, OFWs at senior citizen, meron tayong express lane. No? Secure because the passport system around the world relies on the security or relies on the truth of the information sa passport. So we cannot afford na may mali o may nakakuha ng passport na hindi Pilipino o magamit ang Filipino passport for organized crime or terrorism. No? So the extra security measures are necessary, but it shouldn't be a big inconvenience. So today, with your crew, no, we showed them the process. Nandito yung computer mamaya, you can go through it. I'll ask you, Sec Joel, to go through the process and the benefits of the e-payment system. But I distributed one sheet of paper that has the updates lang. Bottom line, bakit po matagal kumuha ng appointment? Dahil mas marami po ang gustong kumuha sa passport kaysa sa capacity ng DFA to process passports every day. So from January to May 2017, we issued 1,589,211 passports. For the same period in 2018, we issued 1,800,055,211, or an increase of 266,000 passports at 16.74% increase. Note that from 2016 to 2017, passport issuance increased by 19.38%, almost 20%. No? The increase in 2015 to 2016 was only 1.89%. So ang average po natin is the year before, 2014 to 2015, is 0.05%. No? So from no increase to around 2% lang, biglang naging 19%. Halo-halo po ang rason dyan. Dumami ang budget airlines, naging mas convenient po na mag-abroad, tumaas po ang mga nagiging bagong OFW, nakakaranas tayo ng ilang taon na economic growth, kaya nagkakapera ang tao. And then at that time, mababa ang fuel cost, and fuel is one of the yung cost ng surcharge, no, sa aviation. No? In 2017, when I took over, ang ating capacity are 10,500 a day. No? So kahit ilan appointment, ilan walk-in ang i-approve namin, we can only do 10,500 a day. After that, maybe a few hundreds, give or take, pero kung hindi, uuwi nang hindi nakapag-renew o hindi nakapag-apply for new passports. Of that 10,500, 9,000 was by appointment and 1,500 ang walk-in. No? We have increased our capacity. As of today, we have 19,000 capacity daily. No? 1,000 every day for first-time OFWs. Ito po yung portal na inopen natin through licensed recruitment agencies. 4,000 passport on wheels. 2,000 walk-in, so a total of 19,000. The total does not include 2,000 on Saturday in Asiana because nag-open na rin tayo on Saturdays. 8,000 daily from the 8 new regional consular offices to be open. And I thank you sa media na kinover nyo yung pag-open sa Ilocos and Isabela. And then 1,200 daily from the 2 mega vans for the passport on wheels. So we want to, sinabi ko nung una, double our capacity, pero kulang pa rin. So triple our capacity. So we're expecting that by the end of the year, more than 30,000 a day ang kaya naming gawin. Kaya pinaalalahanan na rin ni Yusek Joel at ni Asek Frank yung printers na kailangan magdagdag sila ng printing machine at hindi nila pwedeng sabihin na hindi nila kaya ang 30,000 a day. As I told you from the start, hindi namin pinakailaman ang kontrata nung past administration pa to, but I will demand from them 100% efficiency sa service. So if they upgrade and give more machines, more printers, and then may demand din for 2 things, no? Yung mas makapal na passport dahil 10 years na to. So yung mga flight attendants, mga crew, mga seafarers, nagsasabi, sir, yung present ngayon, 10 years nga, pero sa bawat port na bababa kami, kailangan mabilis yun, no? So that's one of yung in demand. So ang sabi ng printers, they can do that with new machines kasi i-configure nila. Kasi pag nire-configure yung present, maaabala. So that's one service that we're working on soon, no? And will be coming soon. Today we will open 100,000. Today we will open 100,000 slots sa appointment system. 50,000 ngayon 12 o'clock and 50,000 ngayon 9 p.m. Yusek Joel will answer why we're opening that today, and will also answer why we will open 10,000 slots every Monday to Saturday except holidays. 5,000 will be available at 12 noon, so during your break time, makapag online kayo through your mobile phones or your computers. And tuwing 9 p.m. ng gabi, there will also be 5,000 slots open, no? We could not do this before because yung inaayos pa yung CAPTCHA, no? Yung hindi ka pwede mag-robot ang gamitin para kumuha ng marami and then you charge other people for it. And secondly, mahirap tansyahin yung number of slots before dahil from 20 to 40%, depende sa anong araw, ang hindi dumadating. But ngayon with the e-payment, I think exceptional lang yung cases na hindi makakarating kasi manghihinayang dun sa binayad na, no? And lastly, the 10K slots are open on top of the 336,743 appointment slots from June 1 to September 30 that has already been opened and taken up, no? So let me pass muna for the details kay Yusek Joel and Asek Frank, and then we can go to the other issues after this.
Good morning, everyone. Today we formally launched the e-payment system. This payment portal will allow the applicants to pay the processing fee at any accredited payment center. Eventually, applicants will be able to pay using their debit or credit cards and over-the-counter transactions in accredited banks. So far, the accredited payment centers are Bayad Center, ECP, Pera Hub, Robinson's Business Center and Department Stores, Walter Mart Department Store, 7-Eleven, Western Union, and Villarica Pawn Shop. The processing fee for passport applications and renewals remain the same, 950 for regular and 1,200 for processing for expedited. But now, with the e-payment portal, applicants have to pay additional 50 pesos as convenience fee charged by the authorized payment centers. There are 4 steps easy steps in using the e-payment portal. The first step is you have to go through the website, no? The passport.gov.ph, no? And schedule your appointment. It's the same process as we observe now, except that at the end of the process, you'll be given a reference number. You have to take note of that reference number. And then you go to the second step, which is to pay at the authorized payment center, using now the reference number given you. Okay? After payment sa accredited payment center, you will receive an email from the DFA. The email contains the confirmed appointment packet. You have to print out these documents, and together with the other documents and IDs required for the application for passport and renewal, bring them to the consular office where you made the appointment. So yun yung the third step is to print out the appointment packet, and then the fourth and last is to go to the consular office to do your renewal or application. Okay? We put up a hotline, a help desk. If you have questions or problems, we have this telephone number dedicated for e-payment portal. That's 234-3488. 234-3488. And the email address is info@passport.gov.ph. This help desk would address all and answer all questions and concerns about the e-payment. As a Frank, would you like to explain the benefits of the e-payment portal?
Well, the passport e-payment system is really one of the long-term solutions that we have identified para mapadali yung pag-process ng passport, and at the same time luluwag yung appointment system. This, together with the opening of additional consular offices, as pointed out earlier by the Secretary, ito yung talagang long-term solution sa current itong kasalukuyang problema natin sa passport appointments. And with the e-payment, we have found out that up to 95 to 97% of those who book their appointments really appear on their appointed dates. Compared to before, as high as 40% hindi sumisipot. So there was a lot of wastage before. So with the e-payment system, we are confident that tataas yung appearance rate, and at the same time it will discourage or minimize yung hoarding, the hoarding of the appointment slots. Because this time, magbabayad na yung aplikante. Or if yung hoarder ang mag-book ng appointment, then he has to pay. He has to pay upfront. So that's a big risk for him. Kung mabenta niya yung appointment slot na yan o hindi, that's a big risk that he has to take. So hopefully these two reforms which the Secretary has initiated during his since he assumed office will be the ultimate solution for the present problems that has been besetting the delivery of passport services.
So the last thing I have to add there is that walang phobia ang DFA sa technology. So and our people should not, you know, have any fears that because yung human intervention ay nawawala, so yung baka mas mahirapan sila. So whether from doing it online to having, in the future, we will have an app so you can renew your passport by not having to appear sa consular offices anymore, o kahit e-payment ngayon, no? As Yusek Joel said, magkakaroon tayo ng help desk at parating magkakaroon ng isang lane sa ibang consular office na makakapagtanong. So kung yung hindi tech savvy, gusto right there and there gawin, in the future we'll make provisions for that. So, is there any questions? Would you want to... Pag kasalanan namin, then we will address it in favor of the customer. So actually, the system does not allow for refund, nor kasi yung basihan nung yung payment, yung appointment date na binigay sa'yo. So ibig sabihin, there'll be something terribly wrong with the system kung ibang date ang ibigay at hindi mag-match. But in case meron mangyari na gano'n, ang problema namin kung if we will allow excuses, di ba, yung na-late kasi umuulan or ganito, etc., no? Then, you know, hindi matatapos yon and we'll have to hire more people. Pero kung hindi naman kasalanan ng tao, for example, pumunta sa Metro Manila, sinara namin yung opisina that day. So we will give them a next schedule and credited yung payment nila. So basta kasalanan namin, gagawa namin ng paraan. So, and then if there are what they call these cases na talagang mabigat yung dahilan, let us know, and then but if we just open it up na if we just say any good excuse, baka po, remember why did we put the e-payment system? One is to make it simpler. But the other one is para matanggal ang kung meron man sindikato, sellers, and saboteurs. Kasi ang daling isabotahe, pag open ng 5,000, di ba, kukunin mo kaagad yung ilang libo kahit anong pangalan ang ilagay mo. Pero ngayon magbabayad ka. So, in the next 48 hours, kung hindi ka magbayad, i-open namin yung slot na yun sa ibang tao. So maraming benefit to. No? Isang pang benefit, nawalan ka ng isang step pagdating mo dun sa... kasi sa ngayon, pipila ka pa sa cashier, iba pa yung pagpila mo dun sa pagbigay ng dokumento, iba pa yung pagpila mo sa data capturing machine. So ngayon, wala na. Papakita mo na lang yung resibo mo. So, if from the time you're called kasi to appointment mo, to the time you finish is more or less 30 minutes. So, kung 5 to 10 minutes, mawawala doon tayo doon. So, ang minamanage na lang namin ngayon, yung walk-in. Kasi, because nga yung may special privilege for those who are in different situations, no? Minsan, like I visited the Cebu office last week, no? At minsan marami talagang senior citizen. So yung may appointment ng 1 o'clock, nag-move back ng 1:30 o 2 o'clock. Sa dami kasi ng walk-in. So may nagre-request, sir, baka naman pwedeng sa 5 machine, we have 10 machines there, no? So sabi na, baka naman pwedeng isa o dalawa lang ang para sa senior. Pero sabi ko naman sa kanila, masama naman kung nasa labas naghihintay lahat ng senior para lang on time tayo dun sa inyo. No? But we'll try to balance it out para hindi na nakaka-hassle. Kasi maraming kumukuha ng appointment. Ang paalam sa kanilang boss, 1 oras lang o 2 oras eh. So natural, kung half day silang wala, magagalit din yung kanilang boss sa opisina kung bakit di ba, nawala ng kalahating araw instead of 30 minutes or 1 hour or at most 2 hours.
By the way, we've been testing this before this launch. And okay lahat yung results. Hindi lang yung 95 to 97% show-up rate. But even the turnaround nung ng applicants. Ang bilis na ngayon. So that would allow us to accommodate more applicants. For example, sa Saturday work in Asiana, we started at 1,000. Then nung nakita namin after 2 weeks na bumibilis, we increased it at 1,500. Now it's at 2,000 because of this e-payment. So we hope na this really will solve a lot of problems besetting the appointment system. By the way, the e-payment is now enforced in Asiana. No? Started in June. And then on or before July, we'll go NCR-wide. And then nationwide na on or before August.
Sir, payagan niyo ako hindi magbigay ng actual estimate. I'll tell you what our goal is. Our goal is 2 weeks or less, makakuha ka na ng appointment. Diba? So, kasi nakalagay naman sa passport 6 months before. Makikita mo naman yung expiry date So, dapat mga 1 year before, alam mo na pag 6 months, hindi kayang, hindi ka palilipa rin or pasasakayin sa barko kung 6 months na lang yung expiration ko, no? So, if by 1 year time may alert ka na, you have 6 months. Ngayon, kung 3 months to get a appointment or 2-3 months, napakalayo, yung chance na hindi ka maka-renew in time sa biyahe mo is big. So, ang goal po namin to bring it down to instant appointment to at the longest 2 weeks. No? Ang tingin din po namin kaya mahirap mag-estimate ngayon dahil dumagsa dahil sa nagre-renew. May surge talaga sa 10% sa mga bago. Like last year nga, 700,000 halos yung bagong kumuha ng passport. No? And then, as we've explained before, everyone kasi ngayon kailangan yung biometrics, yung fingerprints, picture kunin. But sa renewal nila after this time, hindi na, meron na nun So, mas mabilis na ngayon. Ngayon po, kung nagre-renew kayo ngayon, but your passport was issued before 2016, August 2016, kailangan pa namin yung biometrics mo. Pero kung after August 2016 ka na, no? So let's say yung mga flight attendant or yung mga seafarers, by the end of this year, nag 2 years na passport nila after 2016 August, no? Hindi na namin kailangan kunin yung biometrics nyo. So napakabilis na nung renewal ng inyong passport, no?
I'm sorry, is that sufficient to you?
But the appointment. Well, we will be able to test them now because they've always told us that they have more capacity at kulang ang binibigay namin every day. So ngayon sinasabihan na namin sila na pataas ng pataas na yung kaya namin gawin every day. So even before when 10,500 was being appointments every day, ang sabi nila capacity na is 25,000 a day. So ngayon, we're telling them, before the end of the year, mahigit 30,000 a day. So matetesting po natin sila sa efficiency nila.
And also, another topic, still on the passport, yung joint venture na lupa ng APO at UGEP ay na-review na or may nag-solve na ba yung mga issues?
I'll answer the second question first. We're also waiting. It's the Office of the President, the Office of the Executive Secretary that's reviewing the contract. No? Kasi by law, it's either APO or the central bank na mag-reprint. So, hindi po DFA ang nag-decide niya. Having said that, this contract was approved in 2015, no, in the last administration. So, there are issues, there are questions about not only the contract but some of the provisions in the contract. Pero hindi po DFA legal ang nagre-review yan. Yun na po ang inabutan ko. And I think it's a good call. Kasi, syempre sa DFA, Kung tatanungin mo kami kung anong pinakamabilis, kung ano available dyan. Di ba? Yun ang gusto namin. Having said that, nasubukan na natin sa LTO, di ba? Na nagpalitan ng mga supplier or question yung kontrata, nawalan ng plaka, nawalan ng lisensya. Yung lisensya ng pag-drive, issuean ka lang ng resibo, pwede ka mag-drive. Sa passport, kung hindi mo hawak passport mo, you cannot travel. So, we don't want to take the risk, di ba, of the DFA taking drastic action without the legal review and then mag-suffer yung kumukuha. As to the fake passports, no, I can assure you very secure ang ating passport and kaya nga tayo lumipat dun sa may chip because the biometrics and the data is there. And kung makikita nyo sa ibang bansa, let's say sa, if I'm not mistaken, sa Japan, unang pasok mo, ipapa-biometrics ka rin. No? Para nga nako-compare nila at may record sila. So what I meant doon, Willard, is magkaiba yung fake na passport, meaning totally fake. Meaning nireproduce nila, ginagaya nila, pero hindi naman yan talaga Philippine passport. Iba yon sa fraudulent, na ibig sabihin tunay yung passport, pero yung identity ay hindi siya. So far, wala pa naman akong report na yung identity. Yeah. So, in-explain ni Asek Frank, in the past, dun sa old booklet, may instances, yung napapanood nyo sa TV at sa sine, yung kinakat yung picture or kinakat yung name or yung page, tapos pinapaste. Pero sa bagong booklet, kitang-kita yon pagka napalitan. No? So, ibig sabihin, kung tunay na birth certificate, pero mali age mo, mali pangalan, hindi mangyayari yon sa tunay na passport for as long as our people in the consular offices do our job. And that's why nga hindi namin outsource sa ibang agency ang pagkuha na to. Kasi may CCTVs, may verification yung consular officers namin. But to try to copy it, no, nandyan yan. But it's a worldwide effort kasi na ginagawa na huwag makopya. We had that before sa Hajj passports, no? Passport na one use yung pagpunta dun sa Hajj. And apparently, ang nangyari doon is that every country kasi ay may allotment o may quota dahil hindi naman kaya na lahat pumunta for the pilgrimage at the same time. So may ibang nationality na kumukuha sa Pilipinas. But we took that out na. So wala nang Hajj passport ngayon, regular passports na. But if there are certain cases, bring it up to us kasi as I said, no, kahit mabilis kung hindi secure yung passport, maapektuhan lahat ng Pilipino when we travel. We want the passport to be a powerful tool na pag nakitang Philippine passport, not only will you be given entry into those countries, especially dun sa mga visa-free, no? But also that will be accorded, diba, the conveniences and the respect due to a holder of a Filipino passport.
Well, the case of Elmore Maglungsod is still being investigated. Actually, hindi naman na-make yun, kundi he was accused of facilitating the applications forced through certain recruitment agencies. So, meron atang recruitment agency na nakabayad sa kanya, well, according to the allegation of this recruiter, nakabayad na siya kay Elmore Maglungsod. Ngunit, hindi na-process yung mga pasaporte na binabayaran niya. So, at si Elmore ay na-assign sa abroad. No? Kaya hinabol niya ngayon si Elmore Maglungsod at nag-file siya ng complaint. No? So, this case right now is being investigated by the department. Yes, I think he's been recalled.
We'll give you an update. tanungin namin yung personnel or mas alam ni Asek Frank. But let me explain this. No? In the past, may mga cases na ina-accuse yung mga taga-DFA na nagbebenta ng slots. No? Ang problema kung magsusumbong ka after magbayad ka, unless may video ebidensya, it's your word against their word. No? And sa gobyerno, syempre, may presumption ka of regularity. But remember, this is just a presumption. So, kung halimbawa, sinasabi na doon ka sa restaurant na to nakikipag-deal every day, and then during work hours, nandun ka every day, the presumption can be overturned. That's why, ang pakiusap namin ngayon, whether sa Facebook nyo nakikita, sa text, o kung ano man, pag may nag-offer sa inyo na may bayad, mapapabilis ang passport, paalam nyo sa amin para ma-entrap natin. Kasi pag na-entrap natin, walang lusot yun. Kaya yung po ay taga-DFA or ibang government agency. Pero kung magsusumbong after na ibigay na, of course, we'll do our best to investigate. Pero ang problema nga talaga, yung ebidensya, then your word versus our word. I read one of the cases, parang pinagbintangan siya, pero sa mga investigador, parang siya lang naman yung nagpapapasok sa express lane. So hindi malaman kung kakuntsaba siya nung nagbenta or kung talagang mabait lang siya sa pagpapasok ng express lane. No? Having said that, Yusek Joel and Asik Frank has tried to take out all of that. Kasi kaya katulad ngayon, doon sa express lane, one companion. And pag person with disability at senior citizen, pwedeng may kasamang isa para alalayan. Pero, alam mo, mayroon kami na-tsempo na isa. Tinanong namin, ano nyo po yung kasama nyo? Sabi nung nasa express lane, sumabay lang sa akin. So, meron pa rin talaga po. No? But as I said, yung iba dala ng pangangailangan kasi ang tagal ng renewal. But as soon as we bring it down, eto po, we're expecting na yung 5,000 slots at 12 noon and 5,000 slots at 9 p.m. 50,000 for today. Then every day, 5,000 at lunchtime, 5,000 at... So 100,000 today, 50,000 at 12, 50,000 at 9. Then every day, 10,000. 5,000 at 12, 5,000 at 9. So we'll monitor that, but we expect people to feel the difference.
Sir, other topic lang. Sir, yung tungkol sa sinabi kahapon ng opposition senators na hindi sila naniniwala na sa nag-file na rin ng almost 100 diplomatic protest. Ano masasabi niyo?
Well, as I said, no, ang isang demokrasya tayo, we welcome critics, we welcome people holding us accountable. No? But having said that, if you're referring to Senator Trillanes and Congressman Alejano, I've invited them, especially Congressman Alejano. I told them they can come to the department, we can give a briefing. If he doesn't trust his chairman, former Speaker Belmonte, kasi pinakita ko kay former Speaker Belmonte yung matrix at yung mga no. So, kung hindi ka naniniwala at gusto mo lang protektahan ng ating bansa, I'll give you the assurances and I'll find a way. No? As I told you sa media, nagpapaalam pa ako pero wala pa akong clearance kay Presidente na ipakita sa inyo kahit na wala lang cameras, no? Para makita nyo. But I myself, I saw the pictures and the reports sa mga latest patrol. So I'm 100% sure na kasinungalingan ang sinasabi sa inyo ni Congressman Alejano.
Sa patrol, sir, sabi kasi kahapon ni Trillanes, ni Senator Trillanes, na may report din siya from AFP mismo na talagang pinatigil or hindi parang one patrol na lang per month ang ginagawa.
Well, makikita mo lang sa sarili lang salita, nagbabago na sila. From pinatigil at no patrols at all, ngayon, 1. Pag napatunayan na hindi, magiging 2 yan. And then tuloy-tuloy. No? We can assure our people may regular patrols. But I can tell you now, it is very irresponsible of Senator Trillanes and Congressman Alejano to say na walang patrols. They endangered our security and our standing sa dispute na to. Akala ko ba gusto nila palakasin natin yung stance natin. Eh, para mo sinabing bangko ka, tapos in-announce mo sa lahat na wala ka ng security. Pinauwi ko na lahat ng security guard ko, pinatay ko yung CCTV ko. O edi anong sinasabi mo sa tao sa bangko? Remember, there are a lot of people and a lot of countries disputing yung sa West Philippine Sea, South China Sea. So hindi lang China yan. So pag sinabi mong wala na tayong patrol, paano ko sabihin ng ibang bansa? O sige, kunin na natin yung sa Pilipinas. So makikita mo yung pamumulitika nila, kahit sa counter-terrorism, ang Navy ships at saka Coast Guard naman natin nandyan, hindi lang para bantayan yung features para din tulungan mangingisda, para hulihin din ang pirata, and to avoid yung pagpunta, yung drugs at saka yung terrorism, mga contraband. Pero napakalawak ng dagat. Nakakalimutan sabihin ni Congressman Alejano at ni Senator Trillanes na katulad ngayon, nakita ko sabi ni Congressman Alejano, dapat taasan ang budget para sa militar. And we've not only been saying that. President Duterte has not only, he's been doing it. I'll give you an example. Tingnan niyo po budget ng Coast Guard for the last few years ni President Aquino. From 5 to 6 billion, ang increase lang 200 million, 700 million, 1 billion. Pero time ni President Duterte, from 6 billion to 13 billion. Doble. So yung sa kanila, salita, pamumulitika, ang kay Pangulo, gawa talaga. But siguro, para malinawan ang tao sa issue, bakit hindi tanungin ni Congressman Alejano si Senator Trillanes? Senator Trillanes, ano ba usapan yun ng China? Kasi nung nawala sa atin ng Scarborough, ang magkausap po, si President Aquino, si former Secretary Del Rosario, si Senator Trillanes, at saka ang China. Ang desisyon ng Presidente, hinihintay niya based sa pakikipag-usap ni Senator Trillanes sa China. So, bakit ina-assure ni Senator Trillanes na yung Scarborough babalik sa status quo ante before? Ibig sabihin, kontrolado ng Pilipinas or walang Chinese ship. Eh nangyari, inutusan umalis ang Philippine ship doon, naiwan yung Chinese ship doon. So, sinisisi ngayon ang Duterte administration sa isang kapalpakan na ginawa during the Aquino administration ng mismong kasama ni Congressman Alejano. So bakit hindi nila liwanagin at i-expose sa tao? Ano ba nangyari doon? So panay ang ano nila sa amin, criticism na kasinungalingan at mali. Wrong facts, no? Halimbawa yung Sandy Cay daw, nawala daw sa atin. Eh kahit sinong mangingisda, tanungin nyo Walang structure doon ang Chinese at pwedeng dumaong doon, pwedeng dumaan doon. Sensitive lang lahat na walang gumawa ng structures sa mga uninhabited. At hindi lang China at Pilipinas yan. Vietnam, Malaysia. No? Walang pumapayag ngayon sa uninhabited na gumawa ka. Subukan mo lumapit sa isang feature na meron pong bantay ang Malaysia, Vietnam. No? The same thing I asked Congressman Alejandro. Sabi ko, Congressman, alam mo na meron ibang bansa na meron din structure sa loob ng ating EEZ. Ba't hindi kayo nag-iingay? At ba't hindi nyo kami tinatanong kung nag-file kami ng protest doon? So iba kasi yung pro-Philippines ka, iba yung anti-China. Di ba? We are not anti-China, we are pro-Philippines. So if they're pro-Philippines, bakit sila nagsisinungaling? At bakit panay anti-China lang? Bakit yung iba na meron ding feature sa loob ng EEZ natin, hindi nila binabanggit? O kayo, nasa media, in-expose ba nila sa inyo kung sino pa ang may structure sa loob ng ating EEZ? Or some of you might be hearing it for the first time, but this is not a secret.
Sir, going back to the previous research, kasi if we are friends of China now, why can we not ask about what yung pinag-usapan nila or yung type of idea?
I don't know if they will say it. And remember, nung nangyari yun, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, iba pa ang Pangulo. I think that was the time of President Hu.
Sir, you mentioned in your press release that you filed 39 diplomatic actions. May we know which one is done verbally and one is done in writing? And against what fashion? Thank you.
Allow me na one step backward. I'm assuring you that we're taking all diplomatic action. Ngayon, we can give you a primer kung ano doon sa inyo na sa nagko-cover sa DFA, you will know the terms. But doon sa inyo na nasa ibang bid, di ba? Iba-iba kasi yan eh. May note verbal, may verbal protest, may written protest, may demarche. So, iba-iba po yung paraan ng diplomatic action. Meron din po minsan yung inquiry. No? Ngayon, ang sinasabi natin from the start that I took over, we do not believe in megaphone or microphone diplomacy. We will do our work, we will get the results we want. We have the same objective as past administrations to secure our national territory and protect our sovereign rights. No? But we will not announce to you every single time we do something. Bakit po? Kasi maaapektuhan ang trabaho namin nun. Hindi namin trabaho magpabango. Kung gusto lang namin magpabango sa inyo or gusto ko magpabango sa tao, edi every single multilateral, UN, ASEAN, na available, sisigawan ko ang China. Kasi magmumukha tayong siga. But will we achieve our purposes? Will we achieve our objective? No? Na magkaroon ng peace and stability at ma-secure natin. So for example, sa fishermen, doon sa dating strategy na ina-announce parate, nakakapag-fish ba yung fishermen natin? O ngayon, nakakapag-fish. Meron po bang incidents and reports po? Meron po. And that's why I sent Elmer to, he went to 4 areas, the municipality ng Subic, Masinloc. Pumunta din siya ng Infanta and so forth. So he went to the 3 places and papasalamat kami sa local government, sa Coast Guard, sa AFP. And this morning, no, sa North Command, di ba? Nandun, nag-meet sila with, nasa Sambales, meeting yung fishermen with them, no? So, meron pong incidents. Pero yun din ang babalik ko kay Congressman Alejano. Kung gusto mong ma-solve, why not work with us? Identify these fishermen, identify a mechanism para ma-implement. Pero dun mismo sa hearing, sinabi ni Congressman Alejano, lahat ng fishermen, eto nararanasan. Pero nung kami kausap yung fishermen, iba-iba yung kwento. Meron kinukunan na hindi daw binayaran, meron daw barter change, ibig sabihin po, barter, ibig sabihin po may kapalit, barter exchange or barter trade, minsan daw noodles, minsan dollars. Meron naman daw po na nasiraan ang fisherman na Pilipino, ang Chinese Coast Guard ang tumulong, nag-ayos at binigyan pa sila ng tubig. So iba-iba yung sitwasyon eh. But they are politicizing the incidents for their purpose. And their purpose is mag-away tayo ng China. Kung ang purpose lang nila is secure ang ating national territory at yung ating sovereign rights. So for example, no, they know that there is no way in the present circumstance, even with our allies, that we can dig or we can drill for oil and gas on our own. So ano mas gusto ni Senator Trillanes at ni Congressman Alejano? Mahal ang presyo ng langis? Mas gusto nila na ang dolyar natin ginagamit natin pambili ng langis? So if we can work out a framework with China na pareho naman sa malampaya, 60-40 din, anong masama doon? Pero dahil nga bigla silang naging anti-China na hindi ko alam bakit dahil sila naman po ang nag-negotiate with China nung araw, no? So dun sa number po, that was Yusek Abella did his count, but that's why I'm not giving you an exact number, no? One, because we do not want to engage in that kind of diplomacy, and number two, mahirap bilangin yun. Kasi, for example, when the President meets President Xi, at sinabi niya, amin yan, and we want to ganito. So may halo na yun. Halo of giving the position, halo nung protest. When I meet my counterpart, State Councilor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi, di ba? Pag pumirma tayo dun sa, sa joint statement with ASEAN na walang militarisasyon ng South China Sea, that's not a protest, but that's a diplomatic action. That's a statement, that's an official position, not only of the Philippines, but of ASEAN. So, makikita nyo po, marami na hindi pwedeng sabihin sa diplomasya. Parang military operation yan. I-announce sa inyo after, then you can scrutinize kung ang operation ay successful o hindi. Pero kung every step of the way, i-announce sa inyo kung anong ginagawa, unless that's the strategy. Yun kasi ang strategy po ng past administration. Ang tingin nila, wala nang mangyayari, hindi na magbabudge ang China, pahiyaan at sigawan na lang tayo. Parang may shame campaign, no? As we said, we're not judging them. They had some gains. The arbitration award is one gain, but may losses. Nawala yung Scarborough Shoal. Ngayon po, I can argue that meron co-control. If you say, why don't we control it? Ask Senator Trillanes, why did we lose control? Why did we keep our ships there? Kung tayo naman nagko-control nun dati. Bakit niya ni-negotiate na umalis? No? So we're not saying we're in a good situation. There is a dispute, minsan dehado tayo, minsan nakaka-score tayo, we're protecting the area. But ang question, kung baga sa basketball, yung nagpatalo, ayaw nating questionin. Pero yung ngayon na nakaka-score at going towards a win, yun ang pine-question at gusto may iba yung strategy. No? Ibang-iba po ang strategy ng Duterte administration sa Aquino administration. And you will judge us in the future. But I'm telling you now, I will resign if we lost a single inch. And I won't only resign from DFA. Hindi na ako magpapa-appoint at hindi ako tatakbo ng kahit anong posisyon. But how come Congressman Alejandro and Senator Trillanes cannot say the same thing? O tamaan na ng kidlat kung sino sabi ng sisinungaling.
Sir, yung Scarborough ba being a traditional fishing ground, sir? Vietnam, Philippines, and China. Sir, looking forward, are we negotiating for the binding probably agreement para magkaroon po ng handang for on how to fish in that particular area? Para hindi naman po
Well, that's good that you mentioned that. Kasi doon ako nagulat sa pagkausap ko sa isang international expert, but I haven't asked his permission to reveal our conversation in his name, no? But nung sinabi niya sa akin, sabi niya, Secretary, you know who the big winner is of the arbitration award? Tapos sabi ko, the Philippines. Sabi niya, no, you're the second winner. No? So he stopped there. Then another expert, then he told me why. Another expert told me, Sir, tignan niyo yung sinabit niyo sa arbitration award. Hindi niyo naman pina-define na nasa EEZ ang Scarborough. Ang sinabi niyo lang, traditional fishing ground. So bakit dati hinuhuli natin ang Chinese at Vietnamese? Ngayon, hindi lang nawala yung control, nasa award patuloy na it's traditional fishing ground of both. No? So it's a complex legal but this is being brought out by the legal experts sa atin. So sabi ni Senator Trillanes, dahil sa statement po ng China that out of goodwill meron tayong fishing rights doon ngayon, sinungaling daw ako sa dati kong sinabi. Hindi po. Walang conflict po ang sinabi ng China sa sinabi ko at ng Presidente at ng Pilipinas. Ang sabi natin, we have a tentative fishing agreement. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng tentative? Hindi permanent. No? Pansamantala. Ngayon, hindi magkakaroon ng tentative fishing agreement kung i-insist nung bawat side kung kanino yun. Pero hindi ibig sabihin na ina-atras natin kung kanino yon, diba? So kung sasabihin namin halimbawa na ni Willard, kotse ni Willard yon, sabi ko kotse ko. Sabihin ko, hindi ako makikipag-usap kay Willard kung ang sasabihin na lang niya kotse na yon. At sabihin niya rin, hindi ako makikipag-usap kay Alan kung sasabihin niya lang na kotse na yon. Pero kung sasabihin niyo, Willard, Alan, huwag kayong magbago ng stand niyo. Pero mag-usap lang kayo kung pwedeng MWF, si Willard may gamit, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, ako may gamit. Ngayon, kung ako may control, may talo ako doon. So sabihin ko, Willard, ba't ko pagagamit sa'yo 3 times a week? Nasa akin. Pero kung siyang hindi in control, hindi ba mas maganda na pansamantala, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, nasa kanya? Kaso sa wala at all. That's what a tentative fishing agreement meant. But President Xi and President Duterte agreed na mahirap na umatras sa posisyon ang bawat bansa. Ang Vietnam, Malaysia, hindi sila atras sa kanilang posisyon. Ang Pilipinas hindi atras sa kanilang posisyon. Ang China hindi atras. So that's why they had to answer it that way. Diba? Because they never agreed to give up their position at this point in time. But ang sinasabi ng China, look at our history. For 40 years, we negotiated boundary disputes on land. And after 40 years, most of them have been resolved. So why can't we talk and resolve here? But while we're resolving it, if we can get benefits na walang talo. So if you tell me, sir, pagka nagkaroon ng joint development dyan na 50-50, we lost 10%. Kasi sa Malampaya, 60-40. I will agree with you. Kasi sovereign rights is economic rights. Pero kung ang agreement natin with China is the same or better than Malampaya, you tell me anong nawala sa atin? May nawala ba isang sentimo? Nawala ba yung ating sovereign rights? Nawala ba ang ating territorial claims? Hindi. Because part ng framework ng joint development, no? Yung kung sinasabi na sineset aside mo yung territorial and sovereign rights issues. Question. Sabi ng ibang experts, sir, pag pumirma ka nun, you're giving up the rights of the Philippines. And pipirma din ng China eh. So is China giving up the rights of China? No? So makikita nyo ridiculous ang statement na yan. Diba? Sinabi din ni Joe Masison yan nung una eh. Diba? Na pagka nag-ceasefire, para na rin sila nag-surrender. So ibig sabihin, pag pumirma ng ceasefire ang gobyerno, nag-surrender ang military. So pero may positioning yan eh. May positioning ang CPP, may positioning po ang gobyerno, but that's why we want a tentative peace agreement while you're talking about a permanent peace agreement. So we need tentative agreements with China and with the other claimants. Hindi natin pwedeng tutukan lang ang China. Lahat ng claimants kailangan tutukan natin kasi Philippine interest to. So what if by one miracle, tomorrow, sabihin ng China, o yung mga claim ng Pilipinas sa inyo doon, oh, may ibang claimants eh. Paano kung hindi sa atin mapunta? So we won one battle but we lost the war. Duterte wants to win the war, not just specific battles. No? And I believe in this strategy. That's why I don't mind talking about it. No? But ang strategy kasi ng kabila, simple. Tell a lie so that the administration will tell the truth, and when we tell the truth, mukha kaming pro-China. Diba? Kasi we're explaining to you China side. But take a look at any peace deal in the world. Take a look nung na-resolve yung Cold War. Take a look when Nixon visited when President Nixon visited Chairman Deng. Take a look when President Trump met with Chairman Kim. Diba? Parating may ano yan eh, may give and take at parating may konting secrecy. No? It's not lack of transparency. It's the need to get certain objectives done na sa Pilipino, we have a word for that eh, yung mabibisog, di ba? Or mauusog. No? If we keep telling you the strategy, first of all, may guarantee ba ako na nakikinig sa inyo sa TV, nagbabasa ng Rappler, nagbabasa ng Inquirer, ng Journal Online? May guarantee ba tayo Pilipino lang nagbabasa niyan? Hindi ba binabasa yan ng Chinese, ng Malaysia, ng Vietnam? So why tell them? Why tell the whole world what our strategy is? We tell them what the goals is and updates with what is happening. No? But yung strategy mo, how to secure that, is internal sa atin.
The other day, China articulated its position that it is allowing Filipino fishermen to fish out of goodwill. Now, as a reciprocal act, would you articulate also the Philippine position?
The Philippine position is that it's part of our territory, it's part of our EEZ, and tayo ang may rights doon. But since tayo ang pumunta sa arbitration tribunal at sinabi ng arbitration tribunal sa arbitration award that it's traditional fishing ground of Chinese, Vietnamese, and Filipinos, we have to respect that. We cannot use the arbitration award when it's beneficial to us. Then suddenly, pag hindi beneficial to us, sabihin natin, hindi natin papansinin yan. No? So, our position is our fishermen should be allowed because it's ours. But as I said, if the start ng negotiation natin, ang pinag-uusapan, whose is it, who has sovereign rights, wala kang tentative agreement. And what was the status quo ante? Meaning, what was the status quo before Duterte came in? None of our fishermen were allowed inside. What is the status quo now? Everyone's allowed except in the lagoon. Even Chinese fishermen are not allowed in the lagoon to protect the spawning ground ng mga isda. So, if you're going to argue that the status quo now is that nakakaranas ng hindi maganda ang mga fishermen, we want to change that status quo. And China has committed through their ambassador that they will apply the law and the agreement, and they will be harsh dun sa mga magbabiolate. So it's the same thing with yung environment, yung giant clams and yung coral reefs. No? We're talking to everyone. Personally, gusto ko masama yan sa COC. Because yung environmental protection is a interest ng lahat, hindi lang ng isang bansa. Kasi yung fisheries, pwede mo sabihin, siyempre, ang Pilipino, kampi sa Philippine fishermen, ang Vietnamese, kampi sa Vietnamese fishermen, at ang Chinese, kampi. Pero pagdating sa environment, it's a common concern. And the COC, a binding and effective code of conduct, no? One possibility there is to be very strong on the ecological and environmental protection side.
So, may mga Pilipino lang na nag-react sila sa statement ng China. Sinasabi nila na parang may utang na lupa tayo sa China. Out of goodwill, they allowed our fishermen to fish. How do you assure our...
Tama naman yung reaction ng Pilipino kasi iba stand natin sa Chinese. Pero we cannot expect the Chinese na sa unang pag-uusap, babaguhin nila ang posisyon nila. Diba? That's why they have to give an explanation in accordance with their position. They also report to their government, to their PLA, to their people. No? So if they tell their people, pwede na dahil sa Pilipino, they change their position. But do we want that they change their position? Of course. Do we want them to see the light that it's a Philippine, no, we do want it. But it's our choice. Pwede natin sabihin, sige, walang usapan hanggang hindi kayo mag-agree. Oh, ngayon, haharangin nila. Lahat ng sinasuggest, Justice Carpio, ni Lejano, 60-70% ng sinasuggest nila are not feasible. The 30% na sinasabi nila, ginagawa na namin. And I have briefed them, specifically Congressman Leharin, that we're doing it. So, hindi ko makita na saan yung issue. Except for what? Gusto niya tumakbong senador. That's the reality.
The tentative fisheries agreement, is this a written agreement?
No, it's a consensus between President Xi and President Duterte.
Sir, last Sunday you said that...
And by the way, it's been confirmed by China. So China has said that there are arrangements and there's a tentative fishing agreement.
Sir, you said last Sunday that Filipino or Chinese or Vietnamese fishermen can be apprehended if they enter the lagoon and take giant clams based on this fisheries.
We have a commitment from China when we were negotiating everything. We were negotiating na makapasok ang fishermen. Sabi nila spawning ground. So sagot namin, kung spawning ground, lahat tayo hindi pwede dapat. So meron silang ship doon since nung standoff. Diba? Pero hindi fishing vessel yun. Meron din silang ship doon na nasira, na naalarma tayo during Duterte's time, President Duterte's time, na baka hindi alisin gawing days. But after a few days, pag-uusap, they guaranteed to us na nasira lang talaga, aalisin namin. That's why meron po kaming lakas loob na hindi sila magtatayo doon at susundin nila yung tentative agreements sapagkat nagka-chance na sila to have a permanent or semi-permanent outpost doon. But they showed us, in their side, it's goodwill. On our side, it's the right thing to do based on our claims. Filipinos to Filipinos, Vietnamese to Vietnamese, Chinese to Chinese. Pero I called the admiral ng yung head ng Coast Guard, no? I asked him, so meron silang pag-uusap ulit ngayong July sa China. Nag-uusap sila Coast Guard to Coast Guard kasi yung problema sa manghuhuli, paano kung ang nakakita yung Philippine Coast Guard? Pagka tumawag ka baka ang mangyari, so that's Admiral Elson Hermohino, no, the head of the Coast Guard. So, may mga parang pulis din yan di ba? Kung sa boundary ng Taguig at saka ng Taguig Fort ang nangyari, at sasabihin ng Taguig or Makati Police, magtatawagan pa tayo. Diba? It just so happened we have a national police, but if it was local police, what do you do? So, we have to make arrangements. No? So, pag nakita na Chinese doon, pwede kung i-apprehend, tapos i-turn over sa kanila, or i-apprehend, turn over sa atin. Yun ay mga pinag-uusapan. But the problem is, as you go deeper to that, nagkakaroon ng question of jurisdiction. At pag nagkakaroon ng question of jurisdiction, nag-aaway tayo ngayon, rightly so, kung kanino yon at sinong may jurisdiction.
Sir, wala yata ang Philippine Coast Guard doon.
And that's not true. That's not true. That's one of the falsities that they're saying. May umiikot na, may regular both aerial and maritime patrol ang Coast Guard. Now, you question, there's more fishermen than Coast Guard. Because ngayon lang tayo nag-modernize eh. It's only ngayon 2018 na na-double budget nila. So, ang laki-laki ng Pilipinas. If we put all of our Coast Guard sa Scarborough, yung pirata going to Malaysia and going to Vietnam, tapos paano yung mga nagbabaksak ng drugs sa tubig, paano po yung mga fishermen na pumapasok sa ibang part to Pangasinan side. Remember, we had a scuffle with some about fisheries also with the Taiwanese. No? We believe in the one China policy, but in the context na may rami kang babantayan. So you look at the map, no? Scarborough is big, but it's relatively small compared to the coastline of the Philippines. So meron tayong Coast Guard, no? Pero doon nyo itanong natin itanong kay Congressman Alejandro at sa mga oposisyon. Kung walang train at walang tamang koleksyon, saan tayo kakuha ng pambili ng Coast Guard ships at saka ng Navy ships?
More questions yung
Sa loob ng Lagoon, meron ba tayong Coast Guard ships?
Since the standoff, wala. That's why I'm saying, makakasagot yan si Senator Trillanes.
Sir, but are we, that happens in the past, but are we working towards
Yes.
gaining access towards?
No, what we want is that walang Chinese ships kahit saan doon. Because it's ours. Yun ang gusto natin. Sila naman, gusto nila i-recognize natin na part of the 9-dash line at nasa loob yan. Okay? But walang enforcement mechanism yung arbitration award. So, we missed our chance nung standoff noong 2012 kasi nung pinaalis yung Pilipino at hindi umalis yung Chinese, decision ng past administration with Senator Trillanes na huwag nang pabalikin ang ships. So, kung ngayon, dahas ang gagawin natin, one, where are our ships? Number two, anong mukha natin sa international community na tayo instigator? So, we're doing it through negotiation. But, the military option, di ba? Wala nga amin yan, but that's always a last option because no one wants a war. And then, before you assess a military option, you have to see your capability. So si Presidente is just more down to earth in just explaining it to people na he doesn't want his soldiers to die or it's not that easy. Kasi nagkaroon na ng standoff before eh. Hindi alam ng publiko yung details, pero kami alam namin. Dahil pag-upo namin, pinag-aralan namin yan. And we don't want a single soldier hurt. But we will not give up on our claims. And especially sa Scarborough, napaka-strong ng position natin doon.
But even the fishermen there are saying that the Chinese Coast Guard are controlling the river and preventing them from entering. So what are we doing to resolve that situation?
Yes. First, you have to see why we lost it. Diba? You have to see na we used to control it saan tayo pumulpa. Now that it's there, we're taking diplomatic actions. So there are only two things we can do. Well, three. Prayer. No? And ako, I'm praying every day. And I'm praying hard na may miracle na mangyari dyan na ma-resolve yung South China Sea. Now, the two other things we can do is diplomatic or go to war. So we're doing the diplomatic, we're talking. But this is a slow process. No? But in the meantime, ang sabi natin, huwag kayo mag-fish sa loob ng lagoon. Pero yung sabihin, umalis yung ship. Eh tayo nga dati, may ship din tayo dun eh. Eh inalis natin eh. Ba't natin inalis? Ngayon, kung papasok ang ship natin ngayon at haharangin nila yung sa kanila, what will happen? Iraram natin. And then tayo nag-instigate ng war. Di ba? Then sasabihin that the Mutual Defense Treaty does not kick in because we were not attacked. We attacked. So makikita mo yung ibang sample na binibigay ng opposition, maganda in theory. Di ba? Because pinaposisyon nila po yung napabayaan nila eh, nakaposisyon yung Chinese. Kung tayo yung nasa loob at sila nga, pwede tayo humarang, pag niram tayo, defensive na tayo.
Sir, and then also there are reports of Florida destruction. Parang hindi po ba inconsistent that they are guarding the inner lagoon to make the fish, give them...
No, the coral destruction was before Duterte came in. Yung giant clams at saka yung coral destruction, yung massiveness, was before Duterte's time. So now we are saying, we know it's still happening. But asot pusa na ngayon. The Chinese and the Philippine authorities are going against those who are doing that. So we never said it's an ideal situation. Hindi namin sabing na-solve na yung problema. We're dealing with it. And those, meron ilan ata dito na nakapunta na doon eh. Or nakasakay ng bangka ko hindi doon sa Spratlys area. Kita nyo naman, di ba? Sa picture, parang maliit yung lugar. Pero pag nandun ka na, ang laki ng dagat eh. No? So, maybe one day when we have satellites already, and we can identify at may GPS lahat. No? Ngayon siguro yung isang yung nire-refer, meron pa rin malalaking ships na pinapaurong. Because sa arbitration award, artisan fisher folks. Meaning, hindi to po yung commercial fishing. Pero pati yung small fishermen natin, they want bigger boats, yun ang request nila sa gobyerno, but not big enough na commercial fishing. Kasi alam nila, yung mga kapitalista na may mas malalaking ship papasok, mauubos din yung isda. So we're dealing with it. Instead of answering the question, I will throw the question to the Filipino people through you sa media. Okay. Sa arbitral award, wala pong enforcement mechanism. So if we file again there and stop talking to China, are we willing to sacrifice our tourism industry, our trade, our agriculture, just so that on paper, we know what we already know. We already know na tama tayo. So we don't need an arbitration court telling us. Now, if may enforcement mechanism yung court, ibang usapan yun. Okay. Ang isang suggestion pa nila, to go to the UN. Okay. Pakibasa yung articles ng UN. Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, sa charter ng UN, 10 and 18, the General Assembly's resolutions, assuming we can get a majority, is recommendatory. So magre-recommend, ipapakita natin sa China nagre-recommend, sino na naman mag-enforce. So the third option is to go to the Security Council. Security Council, you need unanimous votes of the 5 permanent members. Who is one of the permanent members? China. So they think China will give their permission. Then the last option, na alam ko, I'm sure marami pang iba yan, ICJ. No? But sa ICJ, both states have to give their consent. And sa arbitration award pa lang, China did not give its consent. So, in that context, ang sabi ng China, usap tayo bilaterally. Kung walang result, ba't natin itutuloy? May resulta eh. So right now, we're dealing with it in a bilateral and multilateral way. Dahil sa ASEAN, may statements pa rin naman tayo. Meron pa rin naman ASEAN-related summits na pinag-uusapan nito. But we're talking to them one-on-one. Sa China naman, malinaw naman stand nila eh. Usap tayo bilaterally, lahat pwedeng pag-usapan. But i-internationalize nyo, megaphone diplomacy, option din naman, can we force them? Oy, magsigawan tayo, pero makinig ka rin sa amin. We cannot. Well, first, we will have a full report to the President. We have assured the fishermen, as the President said, the smallest, ang pinakamaliliit sa ating mga kababayan, the pinaka-powerless, ay siya ang uunahin. That's why the Coast Guard, the LGUs, DFA, the AFP are talking to the fishermen now. So what we have to do is to have an effective mechanism. And kayo mismo nag-cover nung Independence Day celebration natin sa Kawit, mismo ang Pangulo ang nagsabi sa ambassador, I want to make sure na taken care of ang ating fishermen. So it's now a challenge sa enforcement, especially kung totoong may barter change. Kasi consensual yan eh. Di ba? So, ang problema mo ngayon, alin ang barter na consensual, ano yung feeling. We have talked to fishermen, by the way, who want the presence of Coast Guard. But we have also talked to fishermen who do not want the presence of Coast Guard. So, tinanong namin, bakit ayaw niyang Philippine Coast Guard? Kasi sir, noong 2012, nag-aaway ang China at hindi kami makapasok eh. Baka magkakirian sila, kami nasa gitna. At least ngayon, matanggalan man kami, small percentage. So, we have to deal with these details. That's why I'm offering, and I continue to offer, Senator Trillanes, Congressman Alejandro, Justice Carpio, any of those who think we're doing wrong, upuan natin. Let's brainstorm, let's see what's feasible. Tingin yung hindi namin ginagawa, we will show you what you're doing. No? But yung ginagawa na they'll take an instance, babalik na rin nila, iba sasabihin nila, no? Like yung sinasabi at Justice Carpio, with all due respect, yung sinasabi niyang acquiescence, no? Silence is acquiescence. First, we're not silent. Second, even if we were silent, it's not acquiescence. Wala sa UNCLOS yun. No? That's his legal theory. It is not shared by many international experts on the law of the seas. Before 2012, the Philippines controlled Scarborough. After the standoff, the Chinese totally controlled Scarborough. Now we are making gains, and I can argue that it is not 100% under Chinese control kasi ang ating fishermen at ang ating coast guards are there. Are there sensitive areas and sensitivities? Yes. No? So, but for me, I'm more pragmatic than I cannot say, halimbawa, zero control or 100% control. Kasi hindi naman ako maapektuhan yung fishermen maapektuhan. So I have to be idealistic in not giving up any of our claims, but pragmatic in trying to find a solution. Now, if the President says hindi affected ang DFA, I have two choices. One, mag-resign, or number two, ibang agency ang makipag-usap. Pero as of now, the AFP, the NICA, NSA, the National Task Force of the West Philippine Sea, the SND, and the DFA are working closely together, and we highly appreciate them. We can only hope that they appreciate us. But we will be held accountable kasi kami nakikipag-negotiate. There's persistent questions about the time frame of joint exploration and development. I apologize for not being able to give you a time frame kasi a framework like this is either done or not. So unlike halimbawa COC, di ba? Ina-announce nila, magmi-meet ng ganitong day sa Singapore about this, the next day ganyan. But pagdating po kasi sa we're working on it. Kung matapos namin bukas, gagawin na natin. Of course, that will have to pass the legal scrutiny, and if it's brought to the Supreme Court, then we have to follow the Supreme Court. But if it takes 6 months, but ang utos ng Pangulo, ASAP, because we need the oil and the gas right away. Because Malampaya is not an infinite well. Hindi nagpro-produce siya infinitely ng oil and gas. Okay? Have a good lunch.